Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stamp and Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you here from around the United States and all around the world. Today, we're going to be having some fun with stencils, and I'm going to show you a fun way to jazz up a floral stencil. Now, there's lots of great layering stencils, and those are kind of jazzy by themselves because they have all those layers. But every once in a while, we have the stencils that are just a plain floral design, and it's kind of fun to jazz them up in different ways. And today I'm going to show you how to do that with a simple colored pencil. No Gamsol, just a simple colored pencil. And it's another fun way to use your colored pencils. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom.
Hey, happy craft afternoon.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Doing great. Hey, so you're having jazz in your show today.
Yeah, can you play some jazz?
Big fan. Big fan having some jazz in the show today. About time.
Do you see my shirt?
I do.
This is a new Gina K Design shirt that Carol from our inventory in our warehouse, she got all these available to all of our staff here. So everybody's walking around in these shirts. So I have one too. Let me stand back a little bit so you can see it. Isn't it cute?
You should probably have one.
I should probably have one.
Yeah.
I know. It does feel a little bit weird though, wearing my own name this big, but I kind of like the shirt. It's really comfortable. And so maybe we'll start offering some kind of shirt. I don't know about a Gina K Design shirt, but maybe something with one of our funny sayings like it's better than horrible and then Gina K Designs underneath.
How about one of those banners behind the planes at the beach?
Yeah, one of those. Is that what you want?
That would be cool.
Like a little plane with the Gina K Designs banner on it?
Yeah.
That'd be very cool. That'd be actually
the real plane pulling a
just dragging a shirt
at the beach. Yeah, I have a shirt too, but it's at home. It's white, and
Tom got a really nice white one with long sleeves because he likes to wear the long sleeve shirts a lot because I keep the air conditioner at Arctic Circle here at Gina K Designs.
I wear the same clothes all year round now.
And that's just because, it's cold in the winter, but here in Wisconsin, it's warm and it's humid. And I have my own personal weather patterns going on anyway. So I literally keep it freezing in here. And so Tom is walking around in winter gear. Look, we're mostly ladies here. We have a few guys, but we're mostly ladies and we all like it cold. So, all right. Well, it's great to see all of you coming in from all over. And yes, we promise Tom does have a word of the day. I saw somebody asking for that. Yes, he's got a word of the day. And we do have some long sleeve versions of this shirt. So I think we should make some shirts, Tom. I definitely think that people will like them, but I think it has to have something funny on it that kind of relates to us, right? All right, we'll work on that. But in the meantime, this stencil has been absolutely so popular. This is the Zinnia stencil. And I love this stencil because honestly, zinnias, are nice, bright, big summer flowers, but this stencil also could be a mum for the fall. So you could do it in all fall colors. So this is a great kind of year-round stencil that you can use. And I'm going to use this one today because people were asking about how to use it. They're not exactly sure how the leaves line up. And I thought I would use this one to start. And if we have time, then I was going to go into the bold Bouquet stencil. This is another one of those single layer stencils that's so pretty, but maybe you want to jazz it up a little bit with colored pencil. So even if I don't get to this one today, depending on how long the first one takes, remember, if you have this one, you can use it for this same technique. And it really does make things fun. Yeah, it does kind of look like a dahlia too. It could be a dahlia. Absolutely. Well, zinnias, dahlias, mums, they all have the big bloom with the tiny little leaves. So, hey, everybody from Scrap Mania. Great to see you guys. Love you. Miss you, Stacy, and the crew there at Scrap Mania. They're watching from the retreat house there. If you ever want a great retreat house, call Scrap Mania, because they have a great retreat house in Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. And they've got a great store, really fun place. So check it out. All right, everybody. Well, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of our new layering inks for this. So this is the dark carnation, the medium carnation, and the light carnation. So I'm going to do a little bit of a blend on this single flower. And then for greens, you can use the layering spruces, or you can use jelly bean green and fresh asparagus, which layer really nicely together. And I think I want this to be a little bit of a warmer green instead of the cool green of the spruces. I feel like that cool green is, the spruce is going to come in handy with our upcoming Christmas cards and some of those things. Although it's great color combination, or great colors. Okay, so here's just a quarter sheet of white cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my flower right in the center of this. When I'm all done, I'm going to cut this out using Master Layouts 2. So I'm starting with a bigger piece of cardstock here. And I'm going to tape this down, but you don't have to tape it down if you don't want to. I'm going to tape it down just for the flower part. So I have a blending brush here, and I'm going to start with the light carnation. So let me find that color. Here we go. Now, I love these carnations, but you can also use different yellows if you want for this. You can use oranges if you're in the mood for some fall colors. You can use our honey mustard and prickly pear, tomato soup, some of those colors. But I'm not giving up. It's July, and to me, the summer's not over, and I'm not ready to throw in the towel yet. So I'm making a summer card. All right, I'm going to start in the center, and I'm going to work my way in a circular motion out toward the edges and make the edges a little bit lighter. All right, so I'm starting a little heavier in the center. And then again, I'm just this big, wide circular motion, just getting it nice and light around the edges. But I do want color there. I don't want it to be too light, because we are going to use some of those other colors, those other pinks. So we definitely want color. Plus, we need to be able to see where those petals are to do our pencil part of this. Okay, so you can see I've got it heaviest in the center, but I still have color all along the edges. And if you're worried about the leaves, you can just put Post-it notes on the leaves to get them out of the way. Okay, so that's my first color. I'm just going to take a peek at that. It's looking pretty good under there. Okay, so now we're going to move to our second color. I'm not going to clean my brush because there's really no need to, since I'm going from lightest to darkest. If I was going from darkest to lightest, I would rub my brush off on a paper towel to remove most of the ink. So now we're going to go for the medium, and we're going to do the same thing, except we're only going to go about to row 4 in. So 1, 2, 3, kind of into this area here. So we're going to get that color on there.
So Bethany is new to blending. How do you apply heavy and light?
Okay, that's a great question, Bethany. So let me kind of show you here with the brush itself. So when I am applying light, and this is for new people who are starting out, after a while, you're going to get the feel of the brush, and you're going to be able to do it without changing your grip. But in the beginning, when you want to apply light color, hold the brush just by the handle. Don't touch the head of the brush. And this way, you know, it's very hard for you to put a ton of pressure on the brush, which is going to allow you to go very light. If you want a little pressure, then Put your finger on the head of the brush, but don't push. This is a flexible head, so if you push, it's going to push the brush toward the stencil. So hold it and put your finger on the brush to not let the brush push back too much. You know what I mean? Like the brush will kind of push back this way. You're going to hold it. It's kind of like holding its head down, right? Okay. Then when you want to apply heavy pressure, that's when you start to put pressure on the head. And as you're putting pressure on the head, more ink is going to release in each area that you're brushing. So the best way to travel on a plane with blending brushes so they don't get all bent, well, you know, I might put them in like a little plastic container of some kind. I know they've got some cute little plastic containers at places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby. They're little storage containers, art bin containers. You might want to put them in there, maybe put them in a plastic bag and put your ink cubes all in there with them, or your ink pads that you want to take, and just make sure they're protected by a hard shell. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more of this. And again, I'm using that medium pressure. And I'm not working my way all the way down. I'm going to about 3 rows in. Okay. So now we're going to add our darkest color, which is the dark carnation. It's got a lot of red in it. It's a beautiful color. Now, you know, the dark carnation can work with other colors in your collection. Dark carnation is a great color as your lighter color for a red. So if you wanted to do some red blending, you could use something like red velvet as your dark color and dark carnation as your lighter color if you're doing a 2-step stamping. And you could even mix a little medium carnation in there. Or if you want it more orange, go up to a color like tomato soup. And this way you could mix those 3 colors to get a good blend. All right, so now we're going to get the dark carnation in there. And we're only going to go about 2 to 3 rows out, maybe not even that much. Just getting that color in there. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look at that and see what that looks like. It should be very pretty. Ooh, isn't that pretty? I love those 3 colors together. They make such a nice blend. This inkstand is from the Inkstand store, the Inkstand shop. They have their own website. And you can go onto their website, the Inkstand. I can link that in my description. How's that? I'll link that for you here in the YouTube description after the video, so you'll be able to find it easily. And they've got all different sizes, including this one, which I love for ink cubes. I love it for the cubes. And they've got some that are in square sizes and stuff for the distress inks and all of that. So, okay, I'm just going to clean this stencil just to get rid of this red. I'm just using my tidy towel for that. I want to get rid of the red. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next step, which is adding the leaves. Now, you can add these leaves absolutely anywhere that you want. I'm going to start with jelly bean for this. And I'm not taping this down, so I'll put my washi tape over here for my next stencil. I'm not taping this down, but you can add these leaves anywhere you want. All you have to do is look at the 3 humps right here or the 2 humps right here and line them up to any spot that's, you know, 3 in a row. So if you wanted to do this up here, you would just add it right there over those 3. Does that make sense? You could move it to the side a little bit and add it over those 3. All right, so we'll start right here. And I'm going to grab a green blending brush. I don't know what's on there, but I think it'll be fine. And I'm using some jelly bean green ink. And I'm going to ink blend this color. I am going to end up getting it on my fingernails here. You could tape it down if it's more comfortable for you. You're not in as much of a hurry as I am. And I'm working my way down, trying not to push up on those little branches. So I'm actually like pressing the ink toward the way those branches are. Now, if I had been smart, I would have opened up my fresh asparagus ink, but I have another ink stand here, so I will just do that while I'm holding this. And I'm going to put that there for a second. I can line that back up. I want to get a small blending brush. So these are one of the times that these little Gina K Designs brushes are really good because we're going to add a little bit of that detail. I'm just going to line up those again. Okay. I'm going to use this tiny brush and I'm just going to brush on a little of that dark, just kind of in a sweeping motion out from the center. All right. So now we have our first leaf in place. All right. Now we're going to do that again. Don't worry about, see how I got a little bit over here? I'm not worried about it. Remember, I'm cutting it out with the die, so that's going to be gone anyway. All right. Now let's put a single one like right here. So again, I'm finding the spot that has two humps, and I'm just lining up the two humps right over two of the petals. And I'm starting with the jelly bean again. And again, I'm just going to work that in the direction that that little branch part, the little vein part is. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the fresh asparagus, and I'm going to work that out to get the center a little deeper. All right, there we go. Stephanie, I do have on, not on my website, but in our Facebook group, I have a color chart of color combinations that work really nicely together for layered stamps. And they will also work really nicely together for ink blending. So you can use that chart. It's in the files section on our website. All right, so I'm going down to here.
On Facebook.
On Facebook, yep. I'm sorry, I said our website. I meant on Facebook. All right, so I'm going to go down here. I found 3 petals to put those 3 humps over, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm adding some nice big brushy strokes. And the reason I'm doing the brushing like this instead of like swirling it around is because I don't want to lift up the veins of the leaves here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the fresh asparagus. Kind of going on both sides. Okay. So now we've got leaves coming out of there. Now let's take a look at what this would look like cut out. And I like to do that before I decide I'm done ink blending, because if it looks a little bit sparse at the bottom, I might add some more leaves. But I think that's going to look pretty good, just like that. See how that will look? You can kind of frame it out. So I think that's good. I think we'll stop here. All right. So I'm going to cut it first, and then I'm going to do the pencil part of this. Yeah, I know. And also, when it comes to cleaning the stencil, whenever you've got areas, let's see if we can get like a brighter piece of cardstock under here so you can see this a little better. Whenever you've got, that doesn't really help, does it? It's actually too bright. I know what we'll do. We'll do a dark color because I think a dark color will show it better. Okay, that's good. So whenever you have like delicate parts of your stencil that stick up like this, it's real easy to bend them when you're ink blending. So always blend toward where they're attached. And then when it comes to cleaning them, when you're cleaning them with a rag, make sure that you clean them in the direction the same way. You don't want to be rubbing all around because you're going to flip those up. So just clean it by, you know, going into the direction that they're coming out of the stencil, if that makes sense. And then you won't bend them up. If you do bend it up by accident, it's plastic. You can bend it right back. But I'm just trying to, you know, prevent that from happening to begin with for you. So, all right. So we've got that all cleaned up. That's ready to be put away. And now let's go back to this. So I'm going to get my die cutting machine. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see all of you here today. It is Thursday. We're getting close to the weekend. Hey, Tom.
Hey.
All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this out. Now, if you want to make sure that it's perfect where you want it, you can put a little washi tape down on it. I'm not going to worry about it too much because if it shifts a little bit, you're not going to really notice that. So I'm just going to pop that down there and give it a cut. store my stencils in our Gina K Designs stencil pockets. I put them in this little plastic pocket, and the stencil fits right in there, and I use a label maker to put a label on it. And then I store them all in one of these refrigerator bins. Let me grab my bin here just to show you. So they're all in a bin like this. See, I have room for a million more stencils. So not all of them are labeled because I've gotten lazy, but a lot of them are labeled in here. You can see they're all labeled. And it's a great way to store them. And if I had time, I would go back and put them all in alphabetical order. And I think what I'm going to probably do is put some kind of block back here. So this way they sit more upright, although they will just lay flat in there and you can just grab them and look through them. So, okay, that's what I do. I think it's an easy way to store them. I'm not a big one into like book style where you flip, because I put the book on the shelf and I even forget that I have them. When I see that bin just sitting there on my shelf, it reminds me to use my stencils. All right, so now you can see how pretty that is. Got that little stitched area on there. Okay. Another reason why I like these pockets is because you can grab a few of them and throw them in your to-go bag with a few blending brushes and some ink, and the pocket protects them. You don't have to bring all your stencils if they're stored in like a binder or something. So that's just me. Everybody has their preferences, right? You do what makes you happy. Okay, so now I'm going to cut a little black layer. Surprise! And I'm using the Master Layouts 2 for this. So I have another little die here. The Master Layouts 2 plain rectangle that coordinates with this one. Does the ink on the Tidy Towel come off on other cloths, other clothes? Oh, when I wash them with I don't wash them if they have pigment ink all over them. I'll wash them all by themselves, like a big load of Tidy Towels, because I have like 5 of them that I use all the time, and I'll just do a small load of them. But normally I just throw them in with my regular dark clothes. If they just have dye ink on them, it washes right out. It's water-based ink, and I always put them in with my leggings and things like that, so you don't have to worry about it. But if it had pigment ink or oxide ink, something that's a little more opaque, I wouldn't mix them with your clothes. I'd probably wash them real well with a little bit of dish soap in water first, and then I would throw them in the laundry if you want to get them nice and fresh with some Tide or something like that. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. Okay, Stephanie, you need to use your tools more if they're collecting dust. No, I hear you. Like I said, everybody has their own way that they like to store things, and you got to do what you got to do. What size is my bin? That's a really good question. I think it's like a 7 by 7. It's a square, so it's a 7 by 7 bin. Could be 8 by 8, but I don't have a ruler here. But it's around that size because the stencil pockets are just a little bigger than a 6 by 6 for the stencils. And also, I have some Tim Holtz stencils that are taller, and so I can just put them in a taller stencil pocket, like one of our medium-sized stamp pockets, or even our large stamp pocket, and they can all be upright and kind of sticking out. You can make dividers and things like that. Okay, so let's get to the next step. So here I have a Crimson Lake Prismacolor pencil. And what I want to do is I want to sharpen this pencil so it's got a super sharp point. So I'm just using my Eye Point Orbit pencil sharpener. And here's a quick tip. I've showed this before, but lots of you have purchased this pencil sharpener because you love it. And it works really great for your Prismacolor pencils, but nobody seems to know how to open it. So people are like, like they're trying to break this part apart. Let me show you how to open it to clean it. This little part on the top just screws off. See that? It screws on and it screws off. And then this will come right out. And you can empty all your pencil shavings and you can pop it back on and you can screw it back on. Okay. It's a lot simpler than you think. And people are really like getting a hernia trying to open it. You don't have to. It doesn't open that way. All right. I'm going to zoom in a bit here. If you're watching me on a big screen, this is a 6-foot flower now. Sorry about that. And what we're going to do here is we are going to just do 3 little pencil strokes. Now, what I recommend is just getting a piece of scrap paper, something that's just laying around, and practice a little bit just flicking your pencil like boop, 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 like that. That's what you want to do. And so we're going to add those pencil strokes to these petals. That was a little dark. Now I'm in it dark now. I got to go dark. And we're just creating a little bit of texture on each one of these petals.
Oh, doing it by hand today.
Doing it by hand?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun though? And then I turn the pencil because as you use the pencil, it does kind of get dull on the one side. And then when you turn it, you get a sharper edge again. So just turn the pencil if it starts to feel like it's getting dull. You can make these as dark or as light as you want. I think I'm going to do a few darker ones. You could do 2. You can do 3. You see how that just creates kind of a little nice strokey line in there. It gives you some texture. I don't sell this pencil sharpener. Honestly, I got mine on Amazon. It's in my favorite things on my website. And, or things I love, it's called. I can link that here in the video too, so that you can find it easily. And there's an electric one and there's a battery operated one. So my friend Karen Hightower gifted me a, electric one, which I love. And I use it at home all the time because it's set up all the time by an outlet where I craft at home. But my battery operated one, I really love because I can take it with me on the go. So I have both. You really only need one, but if you are somebody that likes to move around when you craft, I kind of think maybe the battery operated one might be a good one for your first purchase. But if you craft all the time at home and you know you're always going to be by an outlet, then obviously you don't need to get batteries. So you pick which one works best for you. I ended up getting the battery one a few years ago when Tom and I started going camping, and I wanted to color at the campsite, and I wanted to color outside, and we didn't have an outlet out there. So I'm going a little darker in the center here where my ink is darker, putting a little more pressure. You can see that just creates such nice texture on this flower. Doesn't it look different? I like that. Okay. Can they see that pretty well, Tom? Those
Yes.
lines? Okay, good. So now I'm going to take a green pencil. This is kelp green. And again, I'm going to get a nice sharp point on it. And I'm going to do the same thing in between the veins. So I'm going to just kind of like, just like that. You don't need to do any blending at all with this. No ink blending. Because you're really just, you know, on purpose trying to show those lines. You want that texture in there. That also helps to distinguish the leaves from one another a little bit on that cluster. Okay, just a little more to go. And then we'll add a greeting, and this card will be done. And I think we might have time to at least get some ink blending done on the other one. And you got to decide, like, do you like going up or do you like pulling the pencil down like this? It definitely feels different, and you might like one way more than the other. So instead of like flicking your wrist up, you might prefer to pull your hand down like that. All right. So there is all of that texture in there. It's kind of fun. All right, so, and I like the little stitching on there. I think that makes a difference. So let's mount these two panels together. I'll grab my tape. I have enough tape. I do have some behind me here, so you can refill if you run out. So we're gonna put that together. Boy, the master layouts make layering so easy, don't they? There we go. Okay. Perfect every time. So I'm going to put this onto a white card base, although it would be very pretty on innocent pink, but we're going to let that flower be the color. So I've got a piece of white cardstock here. And I'm just going to score it at the 5.5 inch mark. And then let me show you what I did for a greeting. I actually was going to try to make this a 5-minute card video, but it's not a 5-minute card with the coloring added to it. If you didn't add the coloring, it's definitely a 5-minute card, and it looks very pretty by itself. But that little bit of colored pencil just adds the texture, which is so nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use this. Now this is the Enjoyable Greetings stamps and dies. So there's an Enjoy and Shadow die. I'm not using the shadow, but it's an Enjoy and Shadow die. I keep it together with the Today and Shadow, so I bought some extra magnets and I put one on there. And I cut this out. The thing about this die is you don't want to lose the little dot on the eye. That does cut out separately, so I have it right here. Oh, it's stuck. There it is. Okay. Because you kind of need that to be able to tell that it's the word enjoy. That helps quite a bit, right? And then with this stamp set, there is a die set that works really well with it, and it's called the Enjoyable Greetings stamp set. And so they have all these words that work with either the word enjoy or the word today. So I decided to do enjoy the good things in life, which I think would be a nice birthday card. And so I had made a few of these. I used our strip sentiment dies to cut them out, and I just embossed them in white. I used some embossing and watermark ink for it. I have a couple of them here that I did. And again, I was going to make this a 5-minute card video, but you know, it definitely takes a little longer than that. So I thought I would just add this right to the front of the card. Enjoy. And I would add this right over like that, the good things in life, and then just pop that little eye on there. So I'm going to add this onto the card. Where did I purchase my magnets? So all of the Gina K Designs stamp sets that coordinate with dies come on a magnetic board like this. And we have these boards made for us by Stamp and Storage. So you can order extra ones from Stamp and Storage. So if it's dies that don't come with the boards, like our master layouts, things like that, you can do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and use a little bit of Connect Glue. And I have my Connect Glue in this fine tip bottle, especially for these really intricate little words like this, these delicate things. It's nice to have the glue in the fine tip bottle because you can really deliver the tiniest little dots. It doesn't get all over the place. It keeps it very neat. You can see it has a little blue tint to it. That's our freeze thaw agent. Some glues can't be shipped in the winter because once they freeze, they get ruined. There's my dot. And so we have a freeze thaw agent in this glue, and that's what's blue. But when it dries clear and you can't see it. All right, so we'll pop this on here. There we go. Now I'm going to use my jewel picker for this. Even though it's not a jewel, it's easy to pick up with the jewel picker, and it's easy to place it with the jewel picker. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue right there, and I'm going to pick it up with my jewel picker and pop it on there. And then if you want to move it around, you can use your craft pick. So if it's not exactly where you want it, you can push it down a little more. Maybe you want it to touch the J. Maybe you want it just a little above the J. All right. So then for this, I thought maybe popping it up with some foam squares, or I could lay it right over there like that. I think I'll just do it right like that. I'll just pop it right down on there. I think I'll use some tape for it. Am I out of tape? Oh my word. There we go. I'm not out of tape. Now I'm out of tape. Oh my goodness. All right, so quick lesson on how to change a Gina K Designs tape runner. Grab your refill pack. Open your refill. Pull the new cartridge out. Pull the old one out. Pop the new one in and close, and now it's ready to go. Very easy to change. Okay, we'll pop that right. Got a little tape on the front there. So you could doll this up a little bit with sequins, or you can leave it just like that. So isn't that fun? Okay. Well, Vicki, these tape runners are made by ThermoWeb for me. I don't know if they do bigger ones or not. I haven't seen any bigger ThermoWeb ones, but I can investigate it. Okay, so there's my first card. Let's see if we can at least do a little ink blending on another card. And we'll see if we can add a little bit of lines on it. And if we don't get it all done, maybe I can do it a little later. So we're going to find, what's nice about these stencils too is a stencil like this, you can decide, do I want it in this orientation or do I want it in this orientation? It really doesn't matter. I think I'm going to go this way because I'm going to go off the side. And so I want to get as much of this big flower in there as I can. And this one I am going to tape down. So I'm just using some washi tape here for that. Okay. So I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use some blues for this. I haven't used too many blues. Maybe some, I use a lot of aqua, don't I? But I love it. So maybe I'm going to use it anyway. So sea glass, turquoise sea, and Tranquil Teal. And then we need a brush, and we need a baby brush. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is this stencil's a little different because the leaves are already attached. So you can use something like a Post-it note just to block off certain areas if you want. I'm going to tear this Post-it note, and I'm just going to block this off. And I'm going to block this off so I can start doing some ink blending there. You don't have to, especially with blues, because the blues and the greens meld together just beautifully. So you don't need to, but if you really want to be a perfectionist about it, you can. So I'm going to start with sea glass. Yeah, the baby brushes are cute, aren't they? So I'm going to get a little sea glass on there. And then I'm going to move this here. Get a little sea glass in here. And again, I'm not worried if I go over a little bit. I'll put it right here. Just to get those big swooping areas. Now again, I got a little bit down here, but it's okay. I don't mind. I am going to go in with the little brush and just make sure I get into those tiny areas in there. Get it nice and dark. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit. I think I'm going to go right for the dark color here on this one and go right to Tranquil Teal. So I'm going to use the baby brush and I'm going to just go right into those areas. I think that's going to be really pretty. Ooh, yeah, look at that. I'm not worried about that. That's going to get cut off. And now I'm going to go right in with the baby brush and a little fresh asparagus, jelly bean green up into here. Down into here. If you want to block this petal off, you can. And then I'm just going to clean that. I'm going to go in with a little fresh asparagus just on the tip. And I'm going to just run that up. Just along the edges. Okay. And you'll see how pretty this all looks when I pull this off. All right, now we're going to go in with, we can use the big brush with the sea glass. I'm not too worried about getting some of the little areas there, like the little leafy areas there. I'm not too worried about those. So I'll start in the center with a heavy hand and then go light as I go out. See, I'm just working my brush up into those areas. Just avoiding the leaves a little bit, but I'm not worrying too much because, again, a little mix of blue and green together looks great. I'd be more concerned if I was trying to mix, maybe purple and green. I'd probably mask it off a little bit more. But the blues look great. Yellows look great because you can blend yellow and green together. All right, Tom.
It's time.
It's time for the word of the day.
Okay, word of the day. So this comes to us courtesy of Gina K. She doesn't have enough to do around here. But it just hit her today.
I'm also going to do the bud here.
So this is the art of deciding which of your many crafting hobbies to do today. Which of your, what is it? Yeah, which one of your many crafting hobbies you're going to do today. That's the art of deciding which you're, and that would be witchcraft.
Yes, it is. Witchcraft. Which craft am I going to do today?
Witchcraft.
Practicing witchcraft.
Witchcraft. I don't know. Sometimes there's all kinds of witchcraft going on.
You never know. All right. So now I'm going to use some Tranquil Teal here, and I'm going to go into the center, really getting that color into the center area. And then working my way just to the ends, like just to the bottom ends of these bigger petals. And then I'm going to just do a little right here at the top of this. And a little at the bottom. That actually didn't go on the bottom, but we're going to leave it like that. All right. Now I'm going to go in with some jelly bean green ink on my big brush. And go around the outside with these leaves. And again, not worrying that some of these have a little blue. We don't care about that. I'm going to go in with with this little brush and some fresh asparagus ink. And we're going to go right along the bottoms here. Okay. I think I'll go some jelly bean over here. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to use this same brush. I'm going to just clean it a little bit and put jelly bean green on it, and then go into these stems and leaves up here. I'm going to do this one, even though I know it's going to get cut off, but it's there, so I want to do it. And then I'm going to add a little bit of fresh asparagus in there. Okay, so let's take the stencil off. Looks kind of messy, but let's look at it. I think it's going to be really pretty. Oh, look at that blend. Isn't that beautiful? Love that. Okay, so now let's add a few little pencil lines to this. And even if we can't finish this whole card, we'll add some pencil lines and then we'll cut it out. So I want to find a pencil. Find all my pencils here. I want to find a nice dark, this one. I think this one's going to be good. So this is Cobalt Turquoise. And then I'm going to use a darker green. This is Moss Green. Okay. So let's try this. We're just going to add some simple stroke lines. Pretty? Doesn't that make a difference? Can they see that okay, Tom?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm kind of going around the curve of the flower a little bit. Just adding that texture. Get some in the middle. We have those colored pencils sitting there. We might as well pull them out and start using them for other things. Just a couple little lines in here. And here, you know, you can just bring a couple little lines in. You don't have to do anything real fancy in the center. Okay. The pencils really do, don't they? They just, I don't know, they just make it look so, gives it some realism or something. And we can do the same thing here with the green. I know not much is happening there. And it's easy to do, and it just changes the look of this stencil. I'm not going to worry too much because that's going to have to get cut off.
A few people said, don't forget the bud.
Don't forget the bud. Yes, thank you. The bud.
Bud.
There we go. All right. So let's cut it, and then even if I don't have time to finish the card, we can still give it away, and I can glue the greeting on afterwards, and I'll take pictures of it after it's done so you guys can see how it turned out. But I think I'm gonna have time. Heck yeah. Maybe it is a 5-minute card. No, it's not. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna cut this out with Master Layouts 2. And it's a shame to cut so much of this off, but I really want to get like the bulk of this flower in there. We could use Master Layouts 1, but I really want to have the stitching. I just am in the mood for the stitching today. You could also do this on longer cardstock, and you could make it a slimline, like a mini slimline, or a regular slimline, and then you just have a lot of white space at the top. You could put your greeting up more toward the top. And don't be afraid of white space. Actually, I have to cut my other layer. Don't be afraid of white space, because white space can look really beautiful on a card. So there.
Unlike dead space.
Unlike dead space.
Is white space kind of like dead space on a card?
It is. It's dead space on a card, but like good dead space, you know? People get afraid of white space because I don't know, they feel like they have to fill every bit of the card up, but you really don't. Sometimes less is more. All right, I'm cutting my black layer. Surprise again. But you know I need that little pop of black. Just in case someone out there didn't see the video and they see the card, they can go, oh, Gina made a card. I see black. I see the black layer. Must be a Gina card. But I know a lot of you guys do that too, so maybe it's not a Gina card. All right, let me get this out of the way and we will assemble. Oh, that's loud. Okay. So, I just dropped my black piece. Here we go. Where's my tape? Here it is. I know there's little things under there. I should brush them off, but you won't see them. They'll be encapsulated under there forever. Okay. I love the black too. Yes, my signature thing. I have to keep doing it now. I'm kind of like stuck in the mode. The only time I don't do it, I think in one of my 5-minute card videos recently, I did so much coloring and brown ink on the card that I ended up having to use ivory as the layer because you wouldn't have seen the black. So sometimes a white or ivory layer replaces that if the whole card, like a black magic card, something like that. All right, so we'll get this popped in there. I think we're gonna make it for 2 cards. Stencils are fun. And I do have another Enjoy. So this we could put up here a little more. Right there. This way we could still see all the flowers. Okay. Honestly, I don't know which one I like better. I'm leaning with this one only because, you know, that's my color. But I think if I had done the Zinnia in this color, I would like the Zinnia more. I don't know. They're both really fun. And you have to try this. I know that you guys have the new Zinnia stencil. If you got our feathers kit, it was in that. And if not, it's available. You can pick it up if you like it. I love it. I think it's really fun to use too with like glitz glitter gel or different, you know, like the Deco Foil transfer gel and then to foil it. It's just such a big, bold, fun bloom that you can do some of those techniques with it too. Look at that right there. And this will go here. Take that on and then I'll put the dot on the eye.
And the name of that stencil?
So this one is called, oh my gosh, Bodacious Bloom? I don't know. I have to look it up. I'll look it up while we pick a winner. Oh, why don't I know that? I just had it in my hand. Where'd my little thing go for it? See, this is what happens. I make a mess. Everything goes everywhere. I will look for the little thing. Maybe somebody else knows. Somebody out there knows. Oh, here it is. It's on the stencil. Duh. Bold Bouquet. This is Bold Bouquet. So this one is Zinnia, and this one is Bold Bouquet. So let me put the dot on the I, or the dot on the J.
And the Enjoy die?
That's called Enjoy and Shadow, because it does have a shadow layer if you want to use it. And then the little stamp set is the Enjoyable Greetings. Let go. Can't tell if it's right side up. All right. So there, we made it. We did it. We did 2 cards today.
Hoorah.
2 cards with lots of texture. Love that texture.
Delightful.
All right. So now, Tom, why don't we give these away?
Okay. Let's do a cheesy drum roll.
All right. We're going to start with the Zinnia card.
Here we go. Zinnia card goes to Sharon Del Rio. Sharon
Yay,
Del
Sharon.
Rio.
Woohoo, Sharon. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then the Bold Bouquet goes to...
Bold Bouquet. Winner is Mary Faith. Mary Faith.
Congratulations, Mary. All right, ladies, all you have to do is send your name and address to info@ginakdesigns.com, and I will get those out to you. All right, everybody. Well, this was so much fun today. I hope you like these cards, and I hope you'll try a little stenciling, get those colored pencils out, and just stroke a little texture right onto them. I can't wait to see what you do. Share them with me in the Facebook group at Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. That will be a lot of fun. You can get these stencils on our website at ginakdesigns.com. The shop tab, you'll be able to find all of our stencils. And we've got lots of beautiful florals and other kinds of stencils. Don't limit yourself to florals with this, though. If you have something that has a cool texture, like a swirl or a flourish, you can add those lines into those flourishes too to just make that stenciled image come to life. Well, I will be back this weekend with another 5-minute card video, and then Tom and I will be back next Monday night with another Stamp and Chat Live. Until then, or Tuesday night. I always say Monday. See, I cannot get Monday out of my head. I will forever. It was 3 years that I went on Monday night, so Tuesday's really hard for me to wrap my head around. Tuesday night, Tom and I will be back for another Stamp and Chat Live. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much. Thank you for being here, and mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.